Bonjour, mes amis. Comment ça va? That's French for hello, my friends. How are you? Isn't it beautiful how a simple greeting can start a conversation, even in a language as rich and complex as French? Today, we're diving into the world of French greetings and questions, starting with bonjour, comment ça va? Now, bonjour is pronounced bonjour, with a soft J sound. It's the universal French greeting used any time of the day. And comment ça va is how you ask, how are you in French. It's pronounced comment ça va, with the N in comment barely pronounced. So, the next time you meet a French speaker, impress them with your newfound knowledge. Go ahead, give it a try. Bonjour, comment ça va? So remember, bonjour is hello and comment ça va is how are you? Simple enough, right? Now, let's imagine you've just met someone in Paris. How would you introduce yourself? In French, the phrase you'd use is je m'appelle, followed by your name. It directly translates to I call myself, but in English, we'd simply say my name is. So if your name is John, for example, you'd say je m'appelle John. Easy, right? Now let's break this down a bit. Je means I. M'appelle is a reflexive verb that means call myself. It's a bit different from English, isn't it? But don't worry, with a bit of practice, it will come naturally. And here's an interesting tidbit. In French, the way you address someone can change depending on your relationship with them. The language has both formal and informal forms of address. When meeting someone for the first time, especially in a formal setting, it's common to use the formal form of you, which is vous. On the other hand, if you're meeting someone closer to your age or in a casual setting, you might use the informal tu. So you might say, tu t'appelles comment? When asking someone their name in a casual conversation. Be mindful of these subtle differences, as they can greatly influence how your conversation is perceived. Also, don't forget to ask the other person's name. You can say, êtes-vous, comment vous appelez-vous? Which means, and you, what is your name? In a formal situation. Or, if you're in a more relaxed setting, you could ask, et toi, tu t'appelles comment? These little nuances are what make French such a fascinating language. It's not just about the words you say, but also the way you say them. So, the next time you meet someone, you can confidently say, je m'appelle. Fantastic, isn't it? In French, just like in any language, there are some key phrases that you'll use over and over. These everyday phrases are the backbone of conversation, and knowing them can make your communication smoother and more natural. So, let's dive right in. First up, we have merci. This is the French word for thank you. When someone does something nice for you, or gives you something, you say merci. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's an essential part of polite conversation. Next, we have s'il vous plaît. This phrase literally means, if it pleases you, but it's used in the same way we use please in English. You can use it when you're asking for something, or when you're making a request. For example, if you're at a cafe and you want to order a coffee, you might say, un café, s'il vous plaît, which means, a coffee please. Moving on, we have excusez-moi. This is the French equivalent of excuse me. You can use it to get someone's attention, to interrupt a conversation, or to apologize if you bump into someone on the street. It's a versatile phrase, and it's another essential tool in your French conversation toolbox. Finally, we have où est la salle de bain? This phrase means, where's the bathroom? It might seem a bit specific, but trust me, this is one you'll want to have at your disposal. Whether you're at a restaurant, a friend's house, or just out and about, knowing how to ask for the bathroom can be a lifesaver. So, there you have it. Merci, s'il vous plaît, excusez-moi, and où est la salle de bain? 4 key phrases that you'll use time and time again when you're speaking French. Try to practice them whenever you can, and don't be afraid to use them in conversation. They're simple, they're practical, and they're a great way to start building your French vocabulary. Remember, politeness is key in French culture, so never forget your merci and s'il vous plaît. Imagine you're sitting at a lovely cafe in Paris. How would you order a croissant and a coffee? Picture this: the aroma of freshly baked goods wafting in the air, the soft hum of French conversation around you. You are ready to order, but oh wait, you don't speak French? No worries. Let's start with the basics. If you'd like a coffee, you would say, je voudrais un café, s'il vous plaît. This translates to, I would like a coffee, please. Je voudrais is a polite way to say, I would like, and s'il vous plaît is the French way of saying please. Now, let's add a croissant to our order. You could say, un croissant, s'il vous plaît. This means, a croissant please. Notice the word order here. Unlike in English, the French put the noun before the quantity. So instead of saying one croissant, you would say croissant one. What if you're in the mood for something else? Maybe a sandwich? In that case, you would say, Je voudrais un sandwich, s'il vous plaît. That's right. Sandwich is the same in French and English. Handy, isn't it? Now, once you've enjoyed your delicious French cafe experience, you'll need to ask for the bill. You can do so by saying, L'addition, s'il vous plaît. This phrase means the bill, please. Remember, the French don't tip like we do in the States, so don't worry about adding extra. Also, if you're unsure about anything on the menu, don't hesitate to ask. You can say, Qu'est-ce que c'est? Which means, what is this? The French appreciate when you try to speak their language, even if it's not perfect. So, there you have it. A crash course in ordering at a French cafe. And remember, the key to learning any language is practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. With these phrases, you're well on your way to enjoying a true Parisian cafe experience. Magnifique! We've covered a lot today, haven't we? Let's recap. We kicked off the session with a simple Bonjour, comment ça va? Remember, that's your go-to greeting. A friendly, hello, how are you in French. From there, we moved on to getting to know you. We learned how to introduce ourselves, ask others about themselves, and even how to share a little about our interests. For instance, je m'appelle means my name is, and j'aime translates to I like. It's all about making connections, right? Next, we dove into everyday phrases. This was all about those handy expressions you'll use on a daily basis. We covered everything from merci, which is thank you, to excusez-moi, meaning excuse me, and où est la salle de bain, when you need to ask, where is the bathroom? Our fourth scene took us to a charming French cafe. We learned how to order a café au lait or a croissant. And remember, when you're ready to leave, don't forget to say l'addition, s'il vous plaît, to ask for the bill. Through all these lessons, we've not only learned the language, we've also touched upon the culture. We've seen how French is more than just words. It's about the rhythm, the melody, and the expressions. It's about understanding and embracing a whole new way of life. And here's the thing. You don't have to be perfect. All you need to do is try. Each time you use these phrases, you're taking a step closer to fluency. And trust me, the French will appreciate your efforts. So, go ahead. Practice these phrases, use them in your everyday life, and watch as the language unfolds before you. And remember, language learning is a journey, not a destination. Practice makes perfect, mes amis. So keep practicing these phrases and soon you'll be chatting away in French. Au revoir et à bientôt.